We're going to take a look at order of operations. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to explain order of operations, and we're going to go through about 10 examples of order of operations. So to start, let's just get an understanding of what the order of operations is. So you might know order of operations as the acronym PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. There are other ways of explaining order of operations. The problem is, same thing with this. Like, this isn't the greatest acronym to explain order of operations. But the problem with this and other explanations that I've seen is it doesn't cover everything. Like, I don't think there's a singular way of covering what do you do when there's a fraction bar? What do you do when there's absolute value? What do you do in this situation, in that situation? So there's all these just like different cases that can pop up that I don't think there's a single method that will tell you everything you need to know about order of operations. I have seen like the pyramid method like this. I don't even remember what it is exactly or like how the order is, but I've seen that before and I like that method. I'm just going to stick with the acronym PEMDAS. So the acronym stands for P being parentheses. And that can mean many things other than just parentheses. It could mean the symbol parentheses. It could also be like brackets, and there's plenty of other groupings that we can take a look at, but parentheses just means like this group of numbers or sequences of expressions. This is what we want to look at first. So that's our starting point of parentheses. Then E stands for the exponents. So exponents, that's like 2 to the third and so on, just exponents we want to evaluate. M and D stands for multiplication and division. So one big note I want to make about multiplication and division that a lot of people forget when they are looking at a problem with order of operations. Multiplication and division are interchangeable going left to right. So if you are reading this, like you would, if you're reading a problem, like you would read a sentence of words, if division is happening before multiplication, then you want to do the division first. So if you're reading it going left to right, there's division, that's what you do first. If you're reading it going left to right and multiplication happens first, that's what you want to do first. A lot of people forget about this key concept of order of operations is that these two things are completely interchangeable going left to right. These are not multiplication then division. It's division then multiplication or multiplication then division. It just depends if you're going left to right. So these are interchangeable going left to right. And then finally the last two is addition and subtraction. Same thing there. They're interchangeable going left to right. Subtraction. I can't talk and spell at the same time. Same thing with addition and subtraction going left to right. They're interchangeable. It's not really as big of a deal when you are doing it because like -2 plus 1 and 1 minus 2 is the same answer. So it's not even like, it's not super important that you do it subtraction before addition. But there's technically that rule there. But it is extremely important with multiplication and division because the order that which you complete that is very important. So we're going to go through some problems applying this. And I have some problems where we have like brackets and parentheses within the brackets. We have some fraction bars. So we're going to take a look at all of these examples here. First example, -10 plus 6 divided by 3. So first of all, just go through your checklist, parentheses, I don't have any, exponents, I don't have any. So now I'm on this multiplication and division step, and notice I'm saying multiplication and division because they're interchangeable. I'm not looking at just multiplication then division. I'm looking at multiplication and division at the same time. And I'm seeing 6 divided by 3, so that's what I'm going to do first. So -10, 6 divided by 3 is 2, -10 plus 2. Now I'm just doing -10 plus 2, -10 plus 2 is 10 minus 2, which is 8. Bigger number was negative, so we get -8 there. Number 2, parentheses. So I have parentheses in this one, but not in the sense of like, if you look at number 5. Number 5 has this bracket, and number 6, if you look at number 6, like number 6 has this bracket, and then there's parentheses, and within the parentheses there's something happening in there. There's actually some numbers being subtracted, so there's actually something to do. Where in here on number 2, I just have negative 2 to the second power. The parentheses are being used as a way of saying this is negative 2 to the second power. So this is negative 2 times negative 2. The entire negative 2 is being squared compared to if you just had this, negative 2 squared. This is different than this. So these two problems here, negative 2 squared without the parentheses and negative 2 squared with the parentheses, are two different examples. So the parentheses are just serving the purpose of saying we're taking negative 2 times negative 2. So that's going to be positive 4. And I'm just going to rewrite the problem. Positive 4 plus 4 divided by 2 times 3. So right away, you see, as we go through our order of operations, mess that up. You see that we have 4 plus 4 divided by 2 times 3. Going left to right, division is happening before the multiplication. So you have to do that first. So it's going to be 4 plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then we have that times 3. I'm not adding anything yet. I still have this division and multiplication to take care of, so I did the division. Now I'm going to do the multiplication. So 2 times 3, which is 6, 4 plus 6, 4 plus 6 is 10. So we get 10 on that one. And number 3, what do we have here? I see 4, and then the parentheses right now in this one are serving as multiplication. So this is 4 times the negative 2. That's what the parentheses are serving, 4 times negative 2 divided by 4 minus 6. So going left to right, this time I have multiplication happening first. So I'm going to do this multiplication. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 divided by 4 minus 6. Now still going left to right, I have negative 8 divided by 4. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2 minus 6. Negative 2 minus 6 is really negative 2 plus the negative 6. So that's going to be negative 8. So negative 8 on that one. Number 4. 4 plus 5 times 4 minus 5. So I have 4 plus 5 times 4 minus 5. I have the multiplication right here in the middle. I don't have parentheses. I don't have exponents. I don't have division, but I do have that multiplication. So I'm just going to do that. 4 plus 5 times 4 is 20 minus 5. Now it's just adding and subtracting. So 20 plus 4 is 24. And if you want to write it out, 24 minus 5 is 19. So we get 19 there. I know some of these problems have been really tempting, like right here, on going back to number 2 real fast. Right here, I know it's so tempting to see that 4 plus 4 and just doing 8. Like right away, you see that, oh, I'm going to add. But we have this division, we have this multiplication. All of the division and multiplication needs to be knocked out before we do any sort of adding and subtracting, unless it's in the parentheses. Just if it's in the parentheses, then we go through the whole order of operations. But here I have to do this 5 times 4 before I do any sort of adding and subtracting. And number 5, 6 minus 2 times 4, all being raised to the third power. So I'm going to do the 2 times 4. So 6 minus 2 times 4 is 8. And this is all being raised to the third power. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. And the brackets are serving the same purpose as parentheses. Like this isn't doing anything other than the same function as a parentheses. It's just saying we're taking negative 2 to the third power. So this is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. It's multiplying negative 2 together 3 times, which 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then it's negative times a negative makes a positive. Positive times a negative makes a negative. So negative 8. Number 6. 3. So right now, let me just explain the problem here for a second. Right now you have brackets, and then you also have inside the bracket parentheses. So whenever you have a bracket, you want to do the order of operation within the parentheses, or I'm sorry, within the brackets. So order of operations, parentheses, in that bracket we have these parentheses right here. So I want to do that. I'm going to do, so I have 3 bracket, which is serving as multiplication. So this is going to be 3 times whatever we get inside the brackets here. So 3, 21 minus 4, and then 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So I did the parentheses right here. Now within the brackets still, you go through the whole order of operations within the brackets. And right now in the brackets, I have negative 4 times negative 1. Or you could think of this as minus 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. But either way, negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. Even if you think about this as 21 minus a negative 4, it's going to be 21 plus 4. So either way, it's going to be 21 plus 4. So 3 bracket 21 plus 4. 21 plus 4 is 25. So 3 bracket 25. What function does the bracket serve right now? It serves as parentheses, which serves as, it serves as multiplication. Same function as what parentheses would be. So it'd be like 3 times 25. The bracket's doing the same thing. So 3 times 25 is 75. Okay, now we're getting into some more interesting problems. Number 7, we have 2 times 7 minus 9 squared, where the 7 minus 9 is being squared only, minus 4 times 1 minus 4 squared, where only the 1 minus 4 is being squared. So go through the order of operations. We have multiple parentheses here, so I want to evaluate all of those. So 2 times 7 minus 9, 7 minus 9 is negative 2 squared, minus 4 times 1 minus 4 is negative 3 squared. I did all the parentheses. And I know you're thinking, well, you still have parentheses. You have this negative 2. Yes, but like I said before, this negative 2 is, the parentheses are serving as negative 2 to the second power, negative 3 to the second power. It's telling us that we have to evaluate that number inside the parentheses raised to that power. So negative 2 to the second is negative 2 times negative 2, which is going to be positive 4. So 2 times 4 minus 4, and then this is negative 3 to the second power. So negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. 2 times 4, and now we have multiplication minus a multiplication. So I want to do the 2 separate multiplications. 2 times 4 is 8, minus 4 times 9 is 36. Now we just have 8 minus 36, which is going to be negative 28. Good work with exponents there. Okay, number 8. We have brackets. Within the bracket, we have parentheses. Within the parentheses, we have multiplication and division. So we have some problems going in and in and in. So let's start working on that parentheses. So we have 5 plus 3 bracket 4 parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have 3 times 6 divided by 9. So I want to go left to right. I just go through the order of operations left to right. And I just have 3 times 6, which is 18. And then I have 18 divided by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So 4 times 2 minus 12. Still within the brackets, I have now this multiplication. So 5 plus 3, bracket 4 times 2 is 8, minus 12. 5 plus 3, 8 minus 12 is negative 4. Same thing I said before. I know this is tempting to just boom, 5 plus 3 is 8. I know I've seen it happen hundreds of times. You got to make sure you do the multiplication. So 5 minus 12. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So this becomes 5 plus negative 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. Bigger number was negative, so negative 7. Last two. These are fraction bars. So we have these fraction bars. Whenever we have fraction bars, what you would want to do is deal with the top of the fraction bar, deal with the bottom of the fraction bar, then simplify or divide or whatever you want to at the end. So I would just take it as 2 separate problems, one on top, one on bottom, do everything, and then get down to a point where you can maybe divide or simplify it down. Like if you get an answer like 2 over 4, you'd want to simplify that down to 1/2, like that kind of stuff. Let's take a look at number 9. On the top, I have 5 plus 3, which is 8. So 4 plus 2 times 8. And I'll do like step by step here. So I'm noticing on the bottom, 3 squared is 9. So I'll do 9 plus 1. Then on top still, I have that multiplication of 2 times 8. So 4 plus 2 times 8 is 16 over 9 plus 1. Then I'm just adding. So I'll do 4 plus 16, which is 20. 9 plus 1... 9 plus 1 is 10. 20 divided by 10 is what I mean. Get it down to a point where it's just now 20 divided by 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2. And last one, number 10. Look at that. This is looking pretty good. On the top, I have division. minus, then a multiplication. So go left to right. I see the division happening first. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So you should have 6 minus 6 times 4. I'm going to deal with the top first. Then, before you do, I know you, again, 6 minus 6. I know how tempting that is. You got to do 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So 6 minus 24. On the bottom, all of this is being raised to the second power. So you want to take care of everything on the inside of that parentheses and then raise that to the second power. So let's go ahead and do this. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 plus 5 times 2, which is 10. And that's all being raised to the second power. Negative 8 plus 10 is 10 minus 8, which is 2. So we end up getting on the bottom 2 squared. 6 minus 24 is negative 18. 24 minus 6 is 18. Bigger number was negative. And then 2 squared is 4. And we get negative 18 over 4. So that's not going to divide cleanly. Unless I made a mistake. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 squared. Yeah, okay. This is going to be a little bit of a fraction. Not a big deal. Simplify by 2, so I'm going to divide both top and bottom by 2. 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So there is our answer for that last one. So fraction bars, just deal with top, deal with bottom, and then simplify at the end. So number 9, we got a nice clean answer. And number 10, we got a little bit of a fraction, which is okay. I was just double checking my work to make sure I didn't make a mistake. I'm not seeing a mistake, but if I did make a mistake, let me know. But it looks good to me.